Welcome in another edition of the Dirt Racing Podcast. Let's get started.
This will basically be a short one, basically with all the news, some schedule looks, and a preview of this weekend's Dome race in St. Louis. Let's get started. Your news from POWRi and schedules. The biggest news at POWRi that Toyota in 2021 will be making a sprint car engine. That was the biggest thing. There was a few other announcements. Dryden will have Scott Bloomquist and Chris Madden added to their sponsorship, and both will be running the World of Outlaws late model schedule. Young Seb Wise will be running the All Stars for the McGee Motorsports team, car number 11. And then some schedules came out. First of all, let's look at the ASCS highlights of their schedule. Some old favorites are coming back on the schedule. Their first race is going to be the 28th of February at Canyon Raceway Park, Peoria, Arizona. And then good news for your California fans, the 6th, 7th, and 8th of March will be California at Merced on the 6th, 7th Placerville, and 8th Petaluma. This is just the preliminary schedule right now. Then the Mesquite, Texas dates. The first one at Devil's Bowl is March 20th and 21st. And then the first time they're in the Midwest in Missouri is April 17th at the US 36. Then they go to their traditional May 1st and 2nd back to Pennsylvania at Williams Grove and Selinsgrove. And then, of course, the Washington dates will be the 19th and 20th at Grays Harbor, and then Skagit will be the 25th of June through the 27th. Then they wrap up at the Grizzly Bear Nationals in Montana on July 10th and 11th. And then they go back to some old favorite on the list is July 23rd, a.k.a. the Ditch West Misfits Arkansas. And then the 25th, they're at I-30 Speedway. And then the week before the ASCS 360 Nationals on August 1st at Lawton, Oklahoma. And then, of course, the 6th through the 8th is the 360 Nationals in Knoxville, Iowa. And, of course, they'll be at the front row, the Ultimate Challenge on the 11th. And then Jacksonville Speedway date in Illinois is on the 28th of August. Of course, you have the Lucas Oil races for the Hockett Mammalian Memorial on September 17th through 19th. And this year, backed by popular demand, they will be sanctioning at the I-30 Short Track Nationals on October 2nd and 3rd. Their final dates will be in October 23rd and 24th at Texas Motor Speedway. Then the World of Outlaw highlights. Returning, going to some new tracks for the sprint car side. They're going to Vado Park on April 24th and 25th. That's in Vado, New Mexico. And then on May 30th, they're opening of I-70 Speedway in Odessa, Missouri. And then there were iconic tracks returning. The first time in 21 years, going to Santa Maria Speedway on March 29th. Lawton, Oklahoma at Lawton Speedway on the 1st of May. Greenwood, Nebraska on June 3rd. I-80 will see the return of the World of Outlaws. On June 17th, Route 66 Speedway, the dirt track, will see the Outlaws. July 10th, one more date added. 34 West Raceway will be on the schedule in West Burlington, Iowa. After a 5-year absence, Ratsonville Speedway in New York will be on July 30th. The Dakota State Fairgrounds in Huron, South Dakota on August 22nd. Orange County back on Orange County Fair Speedway in New York on August 2nd. And Kokomo Speedway on October 24th. Plus, of course, the big race is still in place. The Volusia National are the Volusia dates, February 7th through the 9th. The Knoxville Raceway, the only time before the Nationals, will be June 12th and 13th. Another Iowa date, Dubuque on the 19th of June. And then the Jackson Nationals will be June 25th through 27th to Jackson, Minnesota. Attica, the Brad Doty Classic on July 14th at Attica Raceway Park in Ohio. The Kings Royal dates are this July 16th through 18th. The Lernerville Money Race, it will be July 21st. Summer Nationals at Williams Grove, July 25th and 26th. And, of course, I-55 Reekland, August 7th and 8th. Then the Knoxville Nationals in Knoxville, Iowa, August 12th through the 15th. Silver Dollar Speedway for Gold Cup Race to Champions weekend, September 11th and 12th. Final Williams Grove National Open, October 2nd and 3rd. And they will wrap up the end of the season, November 5th through the 7th at the dirt track at Charlotte. Now we'll take a look at some USAC dates. First of all, with the midgets. A 39-race schedule, the biggest since 1988. They'll kick off their season February 7th at Bubble Raceway Park. And then the next night, the 8th, the indoor show, March 7th at Southern Illinois Center in DeCoin, Illinois, for the Shamrock Classic. And then the BC 39 this year will be July 1st and 2nd in Indianapolis. And back in May, a new stop on the tour, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Portsmouth Raceway. One of the promoters is Brady Bacon and his lovely wife. And then the Pennsylvania swing will be August 4th through the 8th. Indiana's Midget Week, July 2nd through 7th. And then this year, the Four Crown Nationals, September 25th and 26th. The Hangtown 100 will be November 19th through the 21st. And wrap up at Ventura Speedway for Turkey Night, November 25th and 26th. The Silver Crown schedule will be 12 dates, and some of the highlights. The first pavement race will be their opening date of the year, May 3rd at Nashville, Tennessee at the Nashville Fairgrounds. And then the next race, the 2-night Indiana swing, will happen with the dirt race on the 21st at Terre Haute, Indiana, at the action track at Terre Haute Action Track. The next night, they'll be on the pavement at Lucas Oil Speedway in Brownsburg, Indiana. Their final race of the year will be on the pavement at Toledo, October 4th. The final dirt event of the year will be the September 26th at Eldora. There's 6 pavement and 6 dirt this year. 3 races will be daytime events. The May 3rd one at Nashville. The Gateway race at Worldwide Technology Speedway on August 2nd is a day race. Another day race is the Illinois State Fairgrounds on the 22nd of August. And the final race on October 4th is a day race. We'll take a look at the sprint car schedule for the AMSOIL National Sprint Cars and some of their big highlights. Their first race, it will kick off the 2020 schedule February 13th through the 15th at Bubba Raceway Park, Ocala, Florida. The first race in the Midwest is on April 4th at Lawrenceburg. 2 days swing in Kansas and Missouri. First night on the 1st of May, Kansas City at Lakeside, and the second night, Pevely will be on the list at I-55. And then some of your highlighted schedules. Eldora would be first time would be May 9th, or May 8th and 9th. They're coming to Jackson, Minnesota, the 29th and 30th of May. And then Eastern Storm kicks off on July 9th through the 26th. Or through the 14th, excuse me. Your Nebraska-Iowa races are going to be Nebraska on July 9th at I-80. And then, of course, the Corn Belt Nationals, the 10th and 11th of July at the Knoxville Raceway. The SmackDown for Kokomo dates are August 26th through 29th. Then, of course, on the 26th of September at Four Crown. Then they go out to Paris for Oval Nationals for November 5th through the 7th, and end up the last race of the weekend of the year is at Arizona Speedway, November 13th and 14th. Then the World of Outlaws late models start January. We'll take a look at their highlighted schedule in a few minutes. Now the World of Outlaws late model schedule kicks off January 3rd. And there's going to be a lot of good cars at Vado Race Speedway Park in Vado, New Mexico. That's also before the Wild Wild West Shootout. And then their Dirt Car National dates are February 12th through the 15th. The annual Illini 100 at Farmer City will be April 2nd through the 4th. Boone Speedway, a new date, Boone, Iowa, for the first annual Hawkeye 100 on May 1st and 2nd. The Firecracker 100 weekend, the June 25th through the 27th. The Prairie Dirt Classic will be July 31st and August 1st at Fairbury. The U.S. Nationals at Cedar Lake Speedway in New Richmond, Wisconsin, August 6th, 7th, and 8th. And of course, they wrap up at the World Finals November 5th, 6th, and 7th. And in sad news, a pioneer in racing clothing and helmets passed away. Bill Simpson was age 79. We lost him earlier this week. And why people don't ask why I don't say goodbye on the show, well, my philosophy is goodbye forever is forever. And Bill Simpson, goodbye, rest in peace. Now let's highlight the Lucas Oil Late Model, some of their highlights of the season on their schedule. Of events. First of all, they kick off January 30th and 31st at Golden Isle Speedway for the Super Bowl racing at Brunswick, and February 1st at Brunswick, Georgia. East Bay will be February 2nd through the 8th. And then they'll wrap up the 9th at Alltech Speedway, Lake City, Florida. The Chillicothe, Ohio on March 20th for their some of the highlights. They hit the Midwest swing of the race at Burlington at 34 Raceway, Burlington, Iowa, May 14th. The next night they go to Farley at 300 Raceway, May 15th, and they wrap up that weekend, May 16th at Deer Creek in Spring Valley, Minnesota. Lucas Oil, the Show Me 100 race weekend is May 21st through the 23rd. The Clash at the Mag at Columbus, Mississippi is June 18th through 20th. Then they come back here in the Midwest. They start at Deer Creek Speedway on July 9th, 10th, and 11th. They're at Jackson, Minnesota at Jackson Motorplex. The Diamond Nationals will be July 18th at Lucas Oil Speedway. July 23rd, 24th, and 25th, it's the Silver Dollar Nationals at Greenwood, Nebraska. The North-South Shootout, or North-South 100, is August 13th through the 15th. The Topless 100 is the 20th through 22nd. The Hillbilly 100 at Tyler County Speedway on the September 6th date. The 17th, 18th, and 19th of September is the 17th annual Lucas Oil Late Model Nationals at Knoxville, Iowa. Kokomo Speedway on September 25th, 26th annual Jackson 100 at Brownstown. The Pittsburgher 100 is on October 3rd at Pittsburgh Motor Speedway, Imperial, Pennsylvania. The the final races, the Dirt Track World Championship at Portsmouth, Ohio, on October 16th and 17th. A regional tour series for the Midwest, the Lucas Oil MRA series. We'll take a look at their schedule. They have a lot of races coming in your general Iowa area. A lot. They will kick off on April 10th at Lucas Oil Speedway for the 7th Annual Spring Nationals. The very next weekend, the first state of Iowa dates will be the Davenport Speedway on April 17th in Davenport, Iowa. The next night, the 12th annual Slocum 50 at 34 Raceway, West Burlington, Iowa. Then they come back to Iowa on May 7th through the 9th. The 7th, they hit Stewart Speedway, Stewart, Iowa, back to Davenport, West Liberty. And then when it's the Show Me 100 weekend at Lucas Wells, May 21st through the 23rd, they come back. They go to Maquoketa, Iowa on the June 13th. And then East Moline the next night on the 14th. They'll hit the Salina High Banks the 26th and 27th of June. July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, another trip to Iowa. July 2nd at Cresco, Iowa. Back to 34 Raceway in West Burlington, Iowa on July 3rd, and July 4th at 300 Raceway at Farley, Iowa. Then they go to Lakeside July 10th, back for the Diamond Nationals, and then their next race won't be till September 25th at Lucas Oil Raceway. Then the next night, September 6th, they hit Quincy, and their final race weekend will be October 8th through the 10th at Lucas Oil Speedway for the 7th Annual Fall Nationals. This weekend, to wrap up on this, we'll have the Dome preview in a couple minutes. We had a quick guest join us to help preview this weekend, Ben Shelton. Let's go to that interview right now. Well, we have Ben Shelton back on to help us preview this weekend. How's it going, Ben?
It's going good. We're here at the Dome at America Center getting set for the Gateway Internationals and getting ramped up for a huge weekend here.
How many cars have already signed in?
Well, today they don't really register. Today they just pull into the pits, and right now they're still parking haulers. It's about 5:45 Central Standard Time, and I'd say they probably already got about 100 haulers parked inside the building. So across all three divisions, we'll probably have north of 180 to 190 race cars this weekend.
And all they do tomorrow is for the late models is time trial, correct?
Yeah, the late models will have 2 rounds of time trials. Half of the midget field will run a complete 3,000 to win program, and half of the mods will run a complete 3,000 to win program as well. Top 3 out of each of those features lock into Saturday night's main event, where we'll start in the top 6.
And then all the late models run Friday night, all their preliminary.
That's right. They'll have all their heat races lined up by the way they qualify. They'll be divided into 2 separate programs, 2 twin 5,000 to win shows. The top 3 out of each one of those shows move off to the main event. So we'll have 6 cars after Friday night's program that are locked in the late models, the mods, and the midgets.
And I know the midgets are hard to keep up with with all the changes.
Yeah, it's been crazy. There's a lot of guys, but a lot of them are still going to be here. Chris Wyndham, of course, at one point was maybe not going to get to race this weekend, and now they've worked everything out. He'll be in the NOS Energy Drink, Clausen Marshall Racing entry. And then, some of these other guys, Tanner Thorson, he was supposed to be in a Swindell Speed Labs entry. Now I believe he's going to be a Dooling Hayward entry. So we've had some guys move around. Logan Seavey, as I said, he'll be in a Swindell Labs entry. It's going to be interesting. Going to be a lot of guys in new rides, and a few of the guys that are entered that it'll be questionable if they get to make it or not, if they're able to find anything.
Yeah, is Larson going to be there?
Yep, Kyle Larson will be here. Last year's winner, Christopher Bell, he's going to be in the house. So, obviously, those 2 guys are going to be 2 to watch.
And there's a little rivalry dating back to a couple weeks ago still going on with those 2.
Oh, yeah, there's always a rivalry between those 2. It seems like every big midget race these days comes down ultimately to those 2, whether it's the Chili Bowl, those 2 battled last year at the Dome, and, Turkey Night, all points in between. Those guys they don't get separated. They're 2 of the best, so they're together a lot. But I tell you what, last year, Tyler Courtney had a big run in this event. He could be one that very well might be able to pick up, maybe a $13,000 sweep this weekend if he can win his prelim night and the finale.
And did they change the track this year somewhat?
They changed it. There is a concrete barrier all the way around the bottom of both corners, and about 6 to 8 feet out from that barrier, it's a little bit of a negative camber where if you're going to run low, the track actually slants the other way to discourage guys from getting down there. And then there's, I don't know, probably a 15 to 20 foot stretch that is flat in the middle of the corner, and then from there it is cupped up to a wall. So a lot of the banking is in the last 30 or so feet of the racetrack. It's going to be interesting as you watch guys move around and try to find where they can get the best traction and the best momentum around this 5th mile racetrack.
And then when I have you, speaking of late models, it seems like this off-season is so short.
Well, it's really short. I mean, you got a guy like Brandon Shepard. He's actually going to be here in Donnie Schott's late model because he has his family-owned car as well as the Rocket 1 car ready to go off in early January to New Mexico and Arizona between the World of Outlaws opener and the Wild West Shootout at FK Rod Ends Arizona Speedway. So no rest for the wicked this year, as these guys are literally going to have about 2 weeks off, between not even really that, about a week and a half off between the end of the year and the start of next year.
But I heard a lot of big names are going to Vado.
Yeah, it looks like that's going to line up. You know, it'll be interesting to see who truly shows up. A lot of guys are trying to get their stuff ready. And the same token, a lot of guys are coming to Arizona Speedway the week after that. We get the Wild West Shootout. So a lot of big-time late model and modified racing happening in New Mexico and Arizona to start the year.
And then I know this weekend's on Dirt on Dirt.
That's right, dirtondirt.com all weekend, and we'll have every lap, every division. We've got 11 cameras here. We've got 4 announcers, all kinds of stuff going on. So it is wall-to-wall coverage. We'll be going live every day about 2:45 p.m. Central Standard Time at dirtondirt.com.
We appreciate you coming on real quick.
All right, man. Well, I really appreciate it, Marshall. Hope you guys have a great one, and hope everybody, if you can't be here, you'll tune in and check it out.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And that's your Dome update. I wish somebody would produce a scorecard because I cannot keep up all the changes over in the midget ranks. So Chili Bowl is going to be interesting. We'll have a preview of the Chili Bowl the week before the Chili Bowl in January. Our show coming up 1 or 2 days after Christmas will be our best of 2019. First show will be the week of January 6th. Until then, as always, this has been another edition of the Dirt Racing Podcast. Thanks for listening as always.
Thanks for listening to another edition of the Racing Podcast.